Hello everyone. So in today's lecture I am going to start with a new topic, that is narration or reporting. So in narration or reporting, what do we mean by? We are generally refer it as our direct speech and indirect speech. So direct speech and indirect speech. We generally know this by these names, direct speech or indirect speech. The indirect or reporting, we also say it as reporting speech. Okay, so what we do in reporting or narrating a sentence, generally, if there is a word, there is a sentence, someone is saying something, that is, we may quote his actual words, we may quote his actual words, that is what he said exactly, we have to quote the same sentence, his actual words. This will be known as our, this will be our direct speech. Okay, if I will have to quote the actual word or the actual sentence which the speaker told me, direct speech, and I can tell them with my own way, that is, we may report we may report what he said without quoting his speech, his exact speech, what he said without quoting his text or his exact speech. Okay, this one is called indirect speech or reporting speech. Indirect speech. Okay, so let us talk about the punctuation of direct speech. This one is very important for you to understand. Punctuation of direct speech. Direct speech. Punctuation of direct speech. So the speech which is under quotation marks or inverted commas is writing is called direct speech, and the verb by which it is expressed is called reporting verb. For example, if I will write a sentence like this, Mrs. Smith Mrs. Smith says, here I will have to use comma and then inverted comma started, I am ill, full stop, and then end with inverted commas. So what happens here? Mrs. Smith says, I am ill. This is a direct speech. This is a direct speech. First of all, you have to know how we write a direct speech. You have to use commas and inverted commas for writing direct speech. Okay, this is all. If I will have to say it in a structured way, then I will say this like, okay, let me write it for you. The direct speech, the direct speech is put within inverted commas, inverted commas, inverted commas, that is like this. You have to put it in inverted commas, that is, if in my sentence the example is I am ill, you have to put it in inverted commas, the direct speech, what the speaker says to you, to mark of the exact the exact words of the speaker. Okay, exactly what I have said to you earlier, words of speaker. Okay, is it clear to you? The second point is a comma is used after reporting verb, after reporting verb. A comma is used after reporting verb. Okay, like here my reporting verb is what? Says. Says is the verb here. You have to use, remember, you have to always use comma after the reporting verb. Okay, and the third one is the first letter, of the direct speech is capital. Is capital letter. Okay, let us take another example for your better understanding. That is, Hanif said, I am very easy. This is my reporting verb. After reporting verb, you have to use comma, then inverted commas, the direct speech. That is, I am very busy. It means who is very busy? Hanif is very busy. Okay. So I hope you understood it. If I will have to change it into reported speech or indirect speech, then what I will have to do? Hanif said that he is he. Here the verb is in present tense. I have to convert it into past tense. He was very busy. I will discuss how we change this sentence into indirect or reporting speech. Okay. What changes we have done here? Instead of comma, we have used that, and instead of the verb present tense verb, we use the past tense of that verb. Okay. So let's talk about the rules. In changing rules. Sorry. Okay. Rules for changing direct speech into indirect speech. Okay, so what are the rules we have to follow in order to make indirect speech? Okay, so first of all, we use a linker. That is, in my previous sentence, that the linker is that linker before the indirect speech. Okay, for example, if I will say in direct speech, I have, he said, I am busy. Okay, in indirect, it will become, he said that is the linker here. Okay, he was busy. Sorry, he was busy. Okay, So this is my indirect speech, and this is the linker, how you use the linker. So the second point is the pronouns are changed according to sense. That means in which sense we are referring, we have to change the pronouns according to that. For example, if I will give you an example, suppose in direct speech we have a sentence. Fakir said, Fakir said, I do not like milk. I do not like milk. Okay. So in indirect speech, what we do is, here the pronoun is I. But when we reported the words of Fakir, then we have to use the pronoun he, because Fakir is the male person, so we will have to use he instead of I. Fakir said that he did not like milk, isn't it? This is our sentence. Here I did a mistake, that is, I used the past tense of the verb do. Why we can't use this past tense here? Because particularly Fakir don't like milk, it means it's a habitual action of him that he doesn't like milk. That is, when I am saying his words, at that time also he do not like milk. He does not like milk. Okay, so I will have to write it as he does not like milk. Okay, let us talk about uh, let us talk about change of sentence. Change of sentence. This is our next topic of discussion. Change tenses. Okay, so indirect, indirect, and in indirect. Okay, if I have present simple in direct speech, then it will become past simple. It will become past simple in my indirect speech. Second, if I have present continuous, it will become past continuous. Past continuous. If I have present perfect continuous, then it will become past perfect continuous. And if I have, for these three, I have only past perfect in indirect. So what are they? Past simple, past perfect, past continuous. Sorry, present perfect. I have left present perfect here. Present perfect. Okay. Present perfect and past perfect. For these three, it will become past perfect in indirect speech. Okay, we'll do the examples, don't worry. Past continuous. For past continuous, I have past perfect continuous, isn't it? And for future, it will become future. If I have shall and will, then it will become should and would, isn't it? Yes. These are the change of tenses you have to take care of while doing indirect speech. Okay. Let's proceed further. You have to remember these changes you have to make when you are doing indirect speech, that is change in time and place expressions in past tense. Change, make a headline, change in time, change in time and place expressions, expression in past tense. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so if I have now, it will becomes then in indirect speech. If I have ago in direct speech, it will becomes before in indirect speech. If I have today in direct speech, it will becomes that day in your indirect speech. If I have tonight, then it will becomes that night in indirect speech. Okay, similarly, if I have tomorrow, it will becomes the next day in indirect speech. Okay, if I have yesterday, it will becomes the previous day in indirect speech. Similarly, if I have last night, it will become the previous night. So simple. You have to just memorize these things in order to do indirect speech. And if I have here, it becomes there. It becomes there. If I have hence, it becomes thence. Thence. If I have this, it becomes that in indirect speech. If I have these, it becomes those in indirect speech. Okay. Similarly, if I have those, it becomes so in indirect speech. And if you have come in direct speech, it will become go in indirect speech. But it is not always followed. Not always. Okay. Let's proceed further. Let us do some examples for our exercise. Okay. If I have one sentence like the teacher said, the teacher said, the teacher said, what the teacher said? You have, you have forgotten, forgotten, you have forgotten the lesson. You have forgotten the lesson. Let us do its indirect speech. The teacher said, I first wrote it. The teacher said, then the linker, removing the comma, I have to write the linker. What is the linker here? I have to use the instead of the comma. The teacher said that. And in place of you, I have to use I, and I have to change the tense form. Here this is have forgotten, that is present perfect. I have to use the past perfect, that is I had forgotten the lesson. How easy, you see how easily I did it. Okay, let us do another question, that is he said I am happy to be here today. To be here, I am happy to be here today. So what will be the indirect speech? He said that, the linker is here that, I am happy. Here who is happy? He is happy. I am So it will become was happy to be here. Here becomes there. Here becomes there in indirect speech. He was happy to be there today. Today becomes what? I have just told you that today becomes what? That day. To be there that day. This is my indirect speech. Okay? Are you clear? Okay. Let us take another example for you. The princess says, the princess says, okay, okay, fine. The princess says, the princess says, I have lost my keys. I have lost my keys. So what will be the indirect speech? The princess. Subject first. The princess said that she had lost her keys. See how I changed the pronouns I and my becomes she and her. Okay, and the tense form have lost became had lost because your present perfect becomes past perfect. Let us take another example. The girl says, the girl says, the girl says, these books, the girl says, these books are theirs, are theirs. These books are theirs, but this one is mine. Okay? Let us change it into indirect speech. What it will become? The girl said that these becomes those. Here you have to use small letter. Those books are theirs. Here are theirs becomes theirs. Were theirs, but this becomes that, but that one each mine becomes her, isn't it? This is your indirect speech. Okay. I hope you all are clear with these. Let us take some examples of WH questions direct speech. How you will have to change it. Okay. Let us take an example. I said, I said, who are you? Who are you? I said, who are you? I said, who are you? What it will become? Remember, when you are saying I said who are you in reporting speech or in indirect speech, you are asking the question. So it will become instead of said, you have to use I asked. I asked. I asked. Who are you? Are you becomes what? Who he was. Okay. You can use she also because I have not specified here the gender. Okay. Who he was. Okay. Take another example. He he said to me, he said to me, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. You see here, he said to me becomes he asked me what are you doing? You have to change it. Let's change it into our assertive sentence, then change it into our reported speech. Okay. What I was doing. What you pronoun becomes I. What I are here is present, so it will become past simple. What I was. Past continuous. Sorry. are doing means you have to change it into past continuous. Past continuous means what I was doing. Okay, fine. Okay, you have to use, remember, you don't have to use the question mark again, you have to use it a full stop only in indirect speech. Okay, so I guess you all are clear with it. Let us do some example of imperative sentence. Imperative sentences. Imperative sentence. Imperative sentence. Let us take an example. The teacher, the teacher said to me, said to me, don't come here, don't come here. You can see that within inverted commas the sentence is in imperative. Okay. If I will have to change it into your indirect speech, what I will have to do? The teacher, the teacher, here the teacher ordered me, ordered me, ordered me what? Not to. Come becomes go. Remember, I have told you that come becomes go in your what? In your indirect speech. Not to go. And here becomes there. Not to go there. Okay? Is it clear to you? Yes, it is clear to you. Let us take when the imperative sentence, here the imperative sentence start with don't, but if the imperative sentence start with let, then what we will do? Let us take example. Leela said to her friends, to her friends, what Leela said? Let us have a picnic. Let us have a picnic. Let us have a picnic. Let us change it into your indirect speech. What the indirect speech of this sentence? Leela proposed or suggested. Here Leela, what does Leela do? Leela suggested. Leela proposed or suggested. You can also use your suggested. Suggested. Suggested to whom? To her friends. To her friends. To her friends that let us, when you have let, you have to change it into what? Into should, that they should they should have a picnic. Okay, simple. Have a picnic. Hope you understood. So let us do some examples of optative sentences. How we change the optative sentences into reported speech. Optative sentence. Okay. There is a sentence. I said to him, may you be happy. May you be happy. Okay. This is a optative sentence. Let us do its narration change, that is reported speech. I wished. I said to him means I wished that you becomes he. He might be happy. Okay, is it clear to you? Yes. Let us have the last one, that is our exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence. Sentence narration change. How we use exclamatory sentences into indirect speech. Let's say I have a sentence. He said to me, Alas, alas, I could not save you. I could not save you. Okay, it is a exclamatory one. Let's change it into our indirect speech. What it will become? He exclaimed, said to me becomes he exclaimed in grief. Because this is a sad situation in grief that he could not, he could not save me. Could not save me. Okay? Is it clear to you? Okay. So for today, we have all about this lecture. Okay, let us stop this lecture here. We will continue further in the next videos. Okay, thank you very much for watching.